Hello, Coshocton, and welcome back to Now You're Talking. It is a beautiful Wednesday, and we got another great show in store for you. I have here with me Chad Guess, and he is with 5 Points Chiropractic. And I saw recently in a newspaper article about how drowsy drivers and the crash rates are increasing. And Dr. Chad Guess seems to be an expert in sleeping and nutrition and things of that sort. So I had him come on and tell us why it's important for everybody to get their Z's at night. And Chad, how many hours sleep do you get?
I'm very regimented. I usually get right around 7 to 8.
7 to 8. And before we get into the other questions that I had, I just jumped ahead of myself. Tell me more about, in a short version of 5 Point Chiropractic and what you do and how you know so much about sleep.
I call myself a wellness doctor. And so that goes beyond being a chiropractor or a nutritionist. Most people that actually show up to my office have been to many doctors, 3, 4, 5, 6, and they're not getting the answers they want. So my job is to come in and find out what's been missed or what hasn't been done and start to put solutions in place that they can start to restore their health. And we will do that through chiropractic. We will look at past traumas, which could be slips and falls, car wrecks, sports injuries, and we will start to repair the damage that's been done. We will look at the toxicity levels, and we will look, which means we will look nutritionally at what we need to do to put your body back in position to heal. And we will also look at stress levels, which is really looking at hormones, and we will start to help balance them so we can get you to sleep, have more energy, have more appropriate responses to stress to put you back together.
And lack of sleep is a huge problem to have. I mean, that can increase your pain level, that can make you not lose weight, that can also make you a sleepy driver if you have to a long commute.
Absolutely.
And what are the other effects for lack of sleep on someone's body?
Well, numerous. You don't repair properly. When we sleep at night is when your body actually starts to repair itself and fix itself up to get through the next day. So when we don't sleep, we don't repair. Growth hormones not released, and that's where you can build muscle and repair. People always come in and complain, my memory is failing. I can't remember things. I'm not getting things done in a day. If you don't sleep, if you don't get your rest, your brain isn't going to function properly.
I have that problem. I have to write everything down or I'm not going to remember it. So bad memory for me. How many hours should somebody get sleep?
You know, statistically they say around 8 hours. Some people will function a little better on 8, some people on 9. So we have to still make it an individual thing. So let's say somewhere between 7 and 9 hours.
Okay. Personally, for me, I have a habit of waking up throughout the night, and I'm sure other people do too. You don't get that sound sleep. What are some tips that you can give somebody in order to go into that deep sleep so they get a good night's rest?
The number one thing I see with people that are waking up multiple times in the middle of the night is actually a blood sugar issue. So I remember earlier you had somebody on and they were talking about how much sugar was in pop.
Yes.
The average 20-ounce can of pop has 16 packets of sugar, which is more sugar than you should eat in a day. So one drink can blow that up. And if we look at the typical American diet, we're eating roughly a half a pound of sugar a day, which is before 1900, the average American ate 10 pounds of sugar a year. We're eating a half a pound a day. And what you'll see is people's blood sugars are bouncing up and down. And you'll notice that during the day. You eat breakfast and at 9 or 10 o'clock, we start to get tired, get headachy, we want some caffeine or candy. So we reach for that to keep our energy going. 2, 3, 4 in the afternoon, we get the headache, we get tired again. When your blood sugar drops low, your body doesn't have enough energy to keep going, and it will send out signals that says, feed me. If that happens into the middle of the night, are you going to be able to sleep? No. If your energy runs low and your body says, hey, I need some fuel to get through the night, it's a blood sugar issue. So we need to start to get a more balanced diet when we eat. And things you can do at night is start to snack on good proteins and fats. So almonds, walnuts, pistachio, macadamia nuts would be a really good snack, and just a handful. And start eliminating the sugary things like pop, candy, popcorn, and absolutely get rid of the caffeine in the afternoon.
How late should somebody drink caffeine? You said get rid of it in the afternoon, so you should only maybe do caffeine in the morning?
Yeah,
or?
If you're going to do the caffeine, try to keep it before noon. If you get past noon, it'll have a tendency to keep you up. And the interesting thing is nicotine, like cigarettes and tobacco, will do the exact same thing to people.
What are some other foods that would hinder you getting a good night's sleep?
Well, anything that's white flour based or too much sugar. So cakes, cookies, candies, brownies, too much pizza, pop.
Okay. What else can you tell me about not getting enough sleep? Like, should you sleep in on the weekends?
No, I think you should keep your sleep very regimented. As I was saying to you earlier, I wake up about 5:30 every morning. In the weekends, sleeping into me is 6:30 or 7. So you need to start to get a pattern of going to bed at the same time every night, getting up at the same time every morning, because your body gets into patterns, and that's what we want to develop to restore your sleep. And then we can look at other things to do to help enhance your sleep.
Dr. Chad and I were having a conversation before we went live with Now You're Talking on www.coshoctantv.com, Coshocton's online TV station. And we were talking about how, like, on Saturdays, I like to sleep in. And I like to sleep in till like 10. I like to push it. I don't want to get out of bed. But come Monday, I have a hard time getting up in the morning. And you were telling me that Monday mornings are like the biggest time for heart attacks?
Yeah. Monday mornings is prime time for heart attack. We get out of our normal routine. We're not sleeping the way we usually do. Our food patterns have a tendency to completely change. Our alcohol consumption completely changes. And then Sunday night, Monday morning rolls around, and all that stress starts to build up that I got to get this done and run and do that. And we have a tendency to see heart attacks on Monday morning. So it's even more important that we clean up our diet, establish good sleep patterns so that we can start to deal with the stress better.
Do you also feel like, too, you have to create that sleep environment, like not have the TV on, have it dark?
Absolutely. Your body secretes hormones to let you go to sleep. So when you go to sleep at night, a certain hormone should go low. And when you wake up in the morning and the sunlight hits you, that hormone should go high and wake you up. And that's sunlight. So if you have a light on, your body might think that's sunlight, and it'll start secreting hormones to wake you up. So you want a dark room. Turn the clock away from your bed. If you keep looking at the clock and seeing the light, that will keep you awake. Turn the TV off. Or if you have your cell phone on and it's emitting a light, you want to shut it off and get completely dark so you get in a routine. Don't watch TV, don't read, and we can look at positional stuff too.
Because the fatal drowsy driver crashes, the fatal rate is increasing, is there any tips that you can give for somebody who might have that long commute, or, you know, roll the window down, get some fresh air, but anything nutrition-wise to help them on the way home too, to keep them alert?
Well, yeah, and again, that goes back to getting a more balanced diet and doing a sleep pattern where you go to bed and get up at the same time every morning. When we get out of whack and we don't watch everything, it becomes very hard to just say, well, if you take this one thing, well, it'll take care of your problem. It happens to be more of a lifestyle issue that we need to change to help improve that. Now, if it's severe enough where we think there's sleep apnea or something, then obviously we need to go see a specialist and get tested for that, and there's other things that can help with that.
Okay. Also, Dr. Chad Guest also goes to the Hope Clinic. Can you tell me more about what you do at the Hope Clinic here in Coshocton?
I volunteer my services for the chiropractic side. So the Hope Clinic was set up for anybody that has no kind of insurance, that they can come in on Thursday nights once a week and get treatment they need. And we have 2 eye doctors, I think 5 or 6 medical doctors that come in. I do think there will be a podiatrist that starts to come in a week or two, and my job is to come in and handle the chiropractic services for the patients.
On what Thursdays are you there?
I'm always there on the 2nd and 4th Thursday of the month, barring vacation or a holiday.
Okay. And Chad, anything else that you'd like to add about sleep or healthy nutrition, or any tips to have a better wellness about our bodies?
Well, with your sleep, you might look at people that have a lot of low back pain and laying on their side. A good tip is to put a pillow between your knees to alleviate the pain. Make sure your mattress doesn't get too old. If it gets entirely too old and worn out like a pair of shoes, it's not doing you very good. You might look at pillows. You want a neutral position with your body. If your neck is bent forward from too many pillows, that will cause sleep disturbances. Good diet. If you're having pain when you sleep, yes, pillows might help, a mattress might help. You might need to go get an adjustment. And chiropractic can be a wonderful thing to release the stress from the body, decrease the pain so you can actually get a good night's sleep.
Let's just say your alarm clock is set for 6:30 and you wake up, your body wakes up at 5:30. Should you get up at 5:30, or should you make your body go back to sleep for another hour?
Absolutely. Get up and start your day. Your body's awake, the process is started. Get up. If you try to go back to sleep, you won't get into a full sleep pattern and your body won't come out of it and you'll stay drowsy.
Okay.
That's why we want patterns.
All right. Anything else, Dr. Chad?
Not off the top of my head.
All right, once again, Dr. Chad Guest from 5 Points Chiropractic here in Coshocton. And if you have any suggestions or any talk show ideas that you want to learn more about, please email me, jessi@coshoctontv.com. That's our time here on CoshoctonTV.com with Now You're Talking with me, Jessi Marcinkovich, Coshocton's online TV station.